Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to talk about another concept towards Kubernetes, which is initializing cluster and joining the nodes to the cluster. So this is pretty much what we're going to cover as part of this training. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to initialize the cluster on the control plane. To remember, execute this command only on the control plane, not on the um, compute plane. So now I'm going to use sudo kubadmin init command. So now when I execute this command, it's going to pull some images, the default images like your API server, etcd, scheduler, and all the other related services which you should be actually running as part of your kube administration service. It's going to download them. It's going to create a PKA folder, put in all your certificates, it's going to create firstly the signer certificate, and then it's going to create all the other certificates for respective services which it's going to use, and then it's going to start those pods of those respective services, and then it's going to finally print you the command for you to join from your compute plane or data plane. So now you can see that this is what exactly happened. And if you just type kube control get pods with -n as a namespace of a kube-system, you can see, okay, sounds good. So export. So you need to give this export command where you need to export this particular file, but you won't have access to, so that's why I stopped it. Instead of running that, you can actually copy sudo opt, edc kubernetes. I didn't write copy, sorry. Kubernetes admin.conf. Now there is a set of configuration which you're supposed to do for it to work, for you to run any of these commands. Now you need to copy this to your home folder. So your home folder is represented by the tilde symbol. And then you just go inside your kube folder. It doesn't exist. Okay, so it's bad. Make directory -p, home folder, kube. So once you create this kube folder, then you can actually execute this command, which is going to be copying the admin.conf from your etc kubernetes to the kube folder on your home folder, and you're gonna name it as config. Okay, so this is gonna be the file name. So now you need to use chmod, and you need to make sure that you give full permission for the user and group ID, to access this file. So once this is done, then I guess you can use this command right now, and you won't have any issue. So right now, etcd, API server, controller, proxy schedulers all started and running. If you see that it is consistently getting restarted, so it will say over here the status restarting and ready 0, like that. If you kind of get that kind of exception, then you've not applied your container defix. So remember to apply the container defix, and that once you change that system D configuration to true, this is going to stabilize. So this is pretty much the first leg of this particular training. So we have completed the configuration in towards your master node. So this pending should be up and running in some time. So it will take some time for the core DNS to establish connection, because it is waiting for the network to have a proper network connection, because it needs to have a proper network to enable. So when we configure the network, this is going to eventually get to the running state. Okay, so don't worry about that at this moment. So let's go to the next leg of it, which is configuring the Weaver network, Weave network. Sorry, what we're gonna do on Weave network is that I'm gonna go with the same architecture. So firstly, we need to configure something called our security group, in which we are going to provision the port number allocation for a Weave network, so that your instances have the ability to allow the inbound port numbers from the communication from your control plane to your compute plane to control plane and control plane to compute plane. And port numbers are going to be very straightforward here this time. It's not going to be like more port numbers here and less port numbers. It's going to be the same port numbers everywhere. And there are only two. And do remember that the other one is UDP. Another one which is not mentioned by default is TCP. So you have to enable UDP as well for this communication. So let's open the EC2 console and go to security group over here. Once you're in the security group, as you can see, go to the control plane first. So this is a easy method to avoid confusion. So if you start with control plane, create two entries over here, one for custom UDP, one for custom TCP. In terms of custom UDP, given the port range, which is 6783 to 6784. Now here in this range, you can actually give the 173 range. So 172 range, 172.31.016. That's the one you can give. And here as well, the same range you can give over here as well. Now here in this range, we're going to give only port number for 6783. So that's the only port number required right now. So just give that and this one as part of this existing configuration, and then save the rule. Now you should see those two port numbers also coming in over here. So one is UDP, one is TCP, and that's pretty much what we want to use right now. So let's go ahead and configure the other security group of your compute plane as well. It's going to be as similar as what you just did. So add a rule and add a rule again. So here, just put it as UDP. And then here you give this port a range of 6783 hyphen. It's not allowing me to give hyphen. Just bear with me. 6783. Yeah, there you go. 6784. 6783 to 6784. I think that should be fair enough. And then here you can give the same IP address range over here, and then same range over here as well. And then here's 6783. Right. So this is pretty much what we want to configure on these two nodes as well. So this is completed, and you should be enabling this by saving this, and then go to your instance, and you should have all these happen in the background, so don't worry about it. So let's go ahead and apply this particular. So all you have to do is like create this file. So you have the URL. I've put it across in your document as well. So you can directly apply using kube control apply FNF with this particular wave work. Now this is alternative networking which we have seen. If you have seen in my virtual machine or the free server, there I would have used for null. But here I'm using this. I just want to show you a difference in terms of networking, but the background functionality is all the same. You never configured for null apart from the initialization of it. And same thing goes here as well. So we will initialize it, and then Kubernetes internally takes care of the networking part of it. So you really don't have to worry about the functionality or how the logics and everything else. Now this YAML file has these many items under it. Manifest, I mean, it has the service account, cluster roles, cluster role bindings, role-based authentication, role bindings, and then daemon set. So that basically applies to all this. So if I'm going to run the scope system again, you can see View network is created, and the moment the network is created, you can see that the core DNS is also set it up and running. Now it was just waiting for the network to be set it up before it went from pending to running state. Now the moment the network is ready, it started to do that. And do remember, this is a daemon set, which means that this is going to be deployed across all these hosts as well. So if I run this kube get pods in the remote servers, you will also see it. But as of now, the cluster is not initialized. There's no clustering in the server or in the server. So we first have to join the nodes. So how do I join the nodes? Now, firstly, we can print the command because we missed the output. I still have it, but I don't have to worry about it. We can use kubeadmin token create print join token, and then you can print the token, and then you can basically copy that token and paste it on both the nodes, and then you can actually enter that. So it is throwing up an error over here. It's saying error is privileged user. So obviously sudo. So same thing over here as well. Sudo, and you can see that pretty much it is completed. Now, now that you have completed the setup of this item, you can actually export this configuration over here. kubelet.conf here in this node level, and then do some kube control get nodes. So it's a sudo. Actually, you cannot do that because you're in the control compute plane, right? So, I mean, it's kind of useless. You cannot actually see much details from this one. Though we were using it in a different way because we were root user on our Linux server. So we were able to do it there. So it doesn't matter what you can do from this. But here itself, you got some clue that both these nodes are affiliated. How you get to know? One is the Weaver service was just one, or the pod for the Weaver was just one. But now you have three Weaver pod, Weave pod, which is for network. And previously you had proxy only once here, but you have three of them. And obviously there are pods distributed across these nodes as well. So this is one quick clue that, integration went on, and your port, the port definitions as part of your security group also worked fine. So here, if you give nodes, this is another proof that your control plane 1, 2, compute plane 1, 2, and the control plane is all together. So this is also the second sign to prove that, everything worked fine. So this is how you need to integrate it. Now you can go ahead and follow the training and complete the training with the use of AWS. You don't really have to use local server now anymore. Now you can use your AWS and with a combination of Ubuntu. And if you're planning to do the same thing on CentOS, follow the same instruction on the virtual server in terms of setting up this Kubernetes. But rest of all the settings towards AWS, you can follow this from this video. So that's pretty much what I want to talk to you about in this video or this AWS session. Thank you again for watching this with patience. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.